To my June 12th video update. I have returned my Zhiyun Smooth-Q gimbal that I've shown you before, and I've gotten my refund. But before I had even set it up, packaged it up and sent it off, I had discovered something else. I watch Emily Lowry's Micro Four Third Nerds YouTube channel. And on one of the an episode around the time that I was thinking about this switch of gimbals, she featured the Zhiyun Crane M gimbal, which is a gimbal that's intended for mirrorless cameras, thus the M, therefore for lightweight cameras, and not just the heavy DSLRs and so on, and not just iPhones. Well, what caught my eye was the fact that not only could you put a mirrorless camera on it, and I have mirrorless cameras, but you could also use it with smartphones in a holder. You could use it with action cameras. It has a quarter 20 screw on its mount. And so you can use it with a range of cameras as opposed to just either a smartphone or a DSLR or a small camera. So I ordered it, even before I'd gotten my refund back from the Smooth-Q. And it arrived. It's an older model that's 2 or 3 years old, I believe, and it originally sold for $499, but I was able to get it for $239. So $100 more than the Smooth-Q and the Smooth-Q, and actually the Smooth-Q is less than $100 now. But if it can serve as a multiple gimbal for me, in other words, a gimbal for multiple cameras, then I think it's worth the extra $100. And I've been trying to use it. I've had it for a couple weeks now, and I've been trying to use it a bit so I'm sure that it's a keeper before the 30 days are up for which I can return it. And I think it is. So as you can see, I've got the tripod legs that go with my selfie stick monopod that I usually use. It works very nicely. So I'll put it up. As you can see, it's sitting there. You can't see the top of it, but that works out nicely that I can use that. And right away I tried it with my iPhone 7 Plus. And the nice thing is I can use the ollie clip, the wide angle ollie clip that I have, as well as the fader that I have, the newer ND filter or fader. And you're able to balance it fairly easily because it's very, very adaptable. So it has this plate, and this moves back and forth. This moves up and down, and it moves in and out, so you can balance for a lot of different things. So I've tried it with multiple cameras, and the beauty is that I can not only use it with my iPhone 7 Plus and this little Yi action camera, but I can use it with, naturally, my little Panasonic GM-5 with the 12 to 32 lens. I haven't tried the 35 to 100 millimeter lens, but I suspect that'll probably work too. It will accept a payload of up to 650 grams, which is a little under a pound and a half. So this worked fine, as you can see in the video clip that I did, and I ran with all of these different cameras through the same scene in our yard, and I'll clip to a series of those so you can see how they look in a minute. So the one thing I can't do is use my EM5 Mark II with the 12 to 40 millimeter lens that I love. But I can take the 12 to 32 from my Panasonic and put it on this EM5 Mark II, and it works fine. It's right on the edge of being almost too heavy, but it does work. And so I'm able to use my EM5 Mark II, I'll be able to use my Panasonic GM-5, my iPhone 7, or any smartphone really for that matter, and the Yi action camera. And I haven't tried the Yi yet, but I know it'll work. The one thing that did not work is this TG Tough, Olympus Tough, I guess you'd call it an action camera. It will go underwater, and it's got a wide angle lens. It's very wide angle. But it's just that the quarter 20 acceptance port is a little bit too much towards the front, and so it's when I had it, I was able to hook it up and able to put it on the platform, but I could feel the motor vibrating a little bit, so I'm not going to play with that. So that one is out. But the ones that you see in front of you now are the ones that will definitely work with it, along with being able to use those add-on lenses to my iPhone, which is really very nice. So as is usually the case with me, I'm not doing a review of this. I really haven't used it enough to be able to review it. One thing I found that is kind of nice is that the batteries are removable. So they're like C-size batteries, maybe D-size. These are removable, they're rechargeable. The use time of them is supposed to be around 12 hours or so, and I haven't used it enough continuously to test that, but it allows you to break down the unit a little bit. So this bottom part that holds the batteries comes off, and you know, this right now I've got it adjusted for a camera. You move these things about. If I move this up a little bit, move that arm up so this can swing in there, and move this higher, so I can transport it by bundling these together. I'm going to get some soft packing material and try that. So, because it came with a very nice case that has a place for each one of these items. It comes with a charger, which of course something else to carry, and it's different, it's unique for this, so you have to use it with a USB cable to charge it. So that's nice. So if I kind of pack it like this, then it becomes a small footprint and I can get it in my bag pretty easily. So I really am thinking, again, that I might sell my Smooth-Q because I really don't have a need for it, since this is, to my mind, one of the best compromise cranes for someone who uses all different types of cameras and mirrorless and down in weight. But the case is, again, just like with my drone, is fine for going on a trip in a car or taking it out to use when I'm driving. But if I'm going on a plane, I need things to be compact. So I could pack this up in my checked luggage, which I would not be comfortable doing really. Or I can get it in certainly my larger bag, my VanQuest Stitch 12, which expands very nicely, and the one I usually take on long trips. And we're doing a European trip again this fall, so that's the way I think I'm going to take this with me. The unit itself is a little heavy compared to the Smooth-Q. It's quite a bit heavier. And I took it on a walk the other day, and I'm not sure I'd want to carry it around a lot, but for using to get smooth shots, and I just did an event the other night, and I went around the group, you know, the crowds at the party, taking pictures with my iPhone 7 on my little holder, and it's a little jumpy. So it was silly that I didn't take this with me and use it, because it would have created much better quality and smoother video clips. Just as with the Smooth-Q and the Smooth-4, you can use this with the Zoom Play app, but you can use it with Filmic Pro or any other app as well, any other video app as well, the native app on your iPhone or Android phone, whatever. The control panel is nice. It does have a joystick, which is nice. One of the things that people will be complaining back with the Smooth-4, although they love it, is it doesn't have the joystick that the Smooth-Q had. So that's nice to have that. It has 3 distinct modes, or actually 4 modes, the 4th one being 3 clicks and it goes into selfie mode, just like with the Smooth-Q. So it does a lot of things that are the same, and therefore it's not difficult to get used to. I think that's about it. But just as with the Smooth-Q, I need to use it much more and really get the hang of using it properly. But I think I'm satisfied finally with a gimbal. So thank you very much for checking in this week, and I'll see you in the next video update. Goodbye. I'm using the Zhiyun Crane M, and I have my iPhone 7 Plus with the Olympus wide-angle lens attached, and it balances very nicely. And we are going to go on a little tour again, my backyard tour for testing gimbals, I guess. Okay, it's in the pan follow mode, the initial mode when you boot up. So we'll go around, Come over here to the rose trellis. Okay, we've got the Olympus OM-D E-M5 Mark II on the Zhiyun Crane M, and a lot more adjustment for this than with my iPhone or the little Panasonic GM-5. We're out as before. A little bit of overexposure. Let's do a tour of the roses. Let's see if we can do the up tilt. Right, there we go. Okay, so there's the up tilt. Okay, here we are, trying out the little Lumix camera, the GH5, and want to see if it performs okay on the Zhiyun Crane M.